right, thanks for coming out tonight. My name is Mr. Lincoln. I'm glad to see you here. Always great to see parents out supporting their students. Please, before you leave tonight, could you make sure to sign in? It's always good to know who's here, who I had a chance to talk to. So, let's get right into it. My name is Mr. Lincoln. I spent 10 years in public affairs as a researcher and a writer. I worked for a firm where I was director of research. I wrote headlines on a daily basis. I wrote newsletters. I wrote in-depth research pieces, researched and wrote these things. And it was a good career. It was great. A lucrative career. I was doing really well. But I decided to come do something more rewarding. And one of the bigger focus points for me was coming into teaching was that the kids that I worked with and the kids that worked for me, a lot of them were lacking some of the basic skills that they needed to succeed. And things like just basic manners, things like being able to meet deadlines and understanding the importance of deadlines. And so those are the things that I'm going to stress. As a teacher, I want to make sure when your child leaves my class, they are prepared to go out into college, go out into the real world, and succeed. And, regardless of whether they learn any history or not, being able to meet deadlines, being able to use basic manners and conversational skills, those types of things are going to help them in whatever they choose to do. So those are some of the things we stress besides just our curriculum in this class. I spent 1 year in private school. I taught 3 years over Walt Whitman Middle School in Alexandria. And this is my 13th year, which is stunning to me, here at Lake Braddock. If your child is here and does what I asked them to do, the pass rate for my regular ed classes, which is pretty much all I teach, 95% or better. We will not have to worry about standardized testing if you do what I ask you to do. Okay. Grades. Real quick, tests are heavily weighted, so you have to prepare for them. And you're going to I talk about test-taking skills. A lot of your kids don't know how to take tests, and I work pretty hard as we go through the year on learning how to take tests and how to be a better test taker. We'll work on that, especially since it's graded heavily. Skill demonstration is usually a project. I don't like projects very much, and I don't do a lot of them. But when I do them, it gives opportunity for kids to show me they can learn in different ways. When I do those things, they are important. So we need to make sure, essentially because there are not a lot of them, they're really important. So let's make sure we get those done. Knowledge of quizzes and things like that. Practice, I want to point out, is only 10% of your grade. And practice is homework. So it's only weighted at 10%. But this class is probably different than most. In this class, your homework is really everything because your homework are the lectures. Several years ago, I decided that lectures were important, and I love them, and I really love to stand in front of a group and talk about all these wonderful things and have a great conversation. But unfortunately, kids take notes at different paces, and some kids are unable to focus at a particular time. Some kids are not here. Some kids miss part of a lecture. And if your class is largely lecture-based, as this one is, you can't miss the lectures. So I post them online. And the kids will take the notes at home at their own pace. They can listen to them as many times as they want to. They can pause, come back, all those things. So no kid will ever miss one of the lectures and one of the important parts. And if you're wondering why I am not standing in front of you at the moment, it's because this is exactly what your student will see. This type of presentation where you'll hear me talking and going through a PowerPoint or notes or whatever it may be. This is what your children will be doing at home. Classroom policy, retest. Every student has an opportunity to take a retest on anything, any mastery grade, any big test. Kids can take a retest. I make them available. I do not go hunting kids to go say, hey, you got to take this retest. I certainly let them know that they should take the retest. In fact, everyone should take a retest. If you have a chance to improve your grade and you can improve it, you should do it. So they will be available, and I will make them know, but it is up to your student. As we talked about responsibility, one of the reasons why I teach, I want to make sure your kid is going to have to take the responsibility to get in here and take that retest. Late work. I don't like late work because I used to work in jobs where if you were late, you didn't have a job. So assignments are due at the beginning of class on the due date. In world history, the penalty is only 10%, but again, if you don't do your homework, which is usually what would be late, in here, you're just not going to do well. USVA is 25%. that's punitive there. And, if you complete it by the end of the unit, whatever it may be, you will get a grade with a penalty. But if you don't get it done, well, you get a 0 on that particular grade. So, students are absent. Everything is on Blackboard, and when I say that, I mean everything is on Blackboard. So I expect that you're going to have to try to keep up and get your homework done and take responsibility for taking care of these things. Because, again, everything's on Blackboard, and I'm going to show you here in a second about that. If something's going on that I need to know about, if your student has pneumonia, or there's a death in the family, or something is happening that we need to know, please let me know so we can extend some time, or if they just need some extended time, just let me know. Otherwise, I expect them to keep up and stay caught up. So let's take a quick look at Blackboard. Class, the first thing you'll see on Blackboard, my email is here if you ever need me. Okay, this is where you can find my email. Essentially, everything is done in folders, and you just click on the top folder, whatever it may be, until you find today's date. Here's today's date. Okay, and you'll click on today's date. You'll see the daily agenda, which says do this, do this, do this, do this, and homework, do that. And everything that it says do is here. So if it says do a Catalhoyuk warm-up, it's here. And if it says map activity, it's here. If it said do notes, the notes will be here. If it says watch video, the video will be here. You get the idea. Everything is on Blackboard. So make sure to check in occasionally on Blackboard, see what's going on, and know that your student has no excuse. There is no reason to say, I don't know where it is, I don't know when it was due, or I can't find it, because everything is on Blackboard. Plagiarism and cheating. I made my living as a writer. Not a huge fan of plagiarism. I would be very unhappy if someone plagiarized my work. So I stress how to write, how to research, how to prepare. When I ask for a writing assignment, I want your student to do the best they can. I can tell the difference between what they write and what someone else wrote. Cheating is much more prevalent than it used to be with electronic devices everywhere. That also will not make me happy. If your student's caught cheating, they're going to get a 0 on that assignment. They'll get a discipline referral and a phone call, and you and I will have to sit down and talk about these things. Please stress to your students they need to do their best work, and if that's not good enough, then I will sit down with them and we'll see if we can make it better. But please, don't plagiarize and cheat. Contact information. If you ever need me, the best way to reach me by far is email. This email's a different one, but it all comes to the same place. So you can find the email here. You can find the email on Blackboard. Please email me. That's the best way to go. Phone, I can't answer it during the day, and it'll just go to voicemail. It'll be much better if we can correspond through email. So if you have any questions, need anything, I'm here every day after school, as long as need be. So as long as the kid needs me, I'm here. So look forward to any questions that you have. And if you happen to miss this or your spouse missed this, they can watch it on Blackboard.